Good evening. I'm Bernard Reynolds, and this is Capital Crossroads, your daily update on politics and policy in Georgia and beyond. Tonight, a prolonged federal shutdown threatening food aid, health care subsidies, and even troop pay are at our doorstep. Federal investigations, huge fundraising numbers in Georgia's 2026 Senate race, and an overlooked but important state utilities election are at hand. Washington's shutdown, the federal government shutdown that began October 1 is now in its 11th day, and it has begun to strain critical programs. The WIC program, which serves about 6.7 million participants nationwide, may run out of funds within 1 to 2 weeks, and SNAP benefits could be disrupted. About 1.4 million Georgians rely on SNAP. Georgia's Department of Public Health says WIC clinics remain open for now, but is exploring emergency funding sources. The shutdown has become a fight over the Affordable Care Act premium tax credits, which expire at the end of the year, which will affect so many people by thousands and thousands of dollars a year. Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene has broken with her party to urge an extension of these subsidies because the premium hikes would be devastating to her constituents. As Greg Bluestein notes, Greene's maverick stance has shocked many Democrats who find themselves praising her for siding with them. Yet Georgia Republicans insist the shutdown isn't about health care and are pressing Democrats to accept clean funding. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump says he will pay troops on October 15th by diverting $8 billion in unused research and development funds. The Pentagon confirmed that unused R&D funds would be tapped if the shutdown continues. Democrats accuse the administration of holding service members and programs hostage to force concessions on health care. The shutdown illustrates how political brinksmanship in Washington can provide ripple down effects for Georgia's families relying on food assistance and affordable health care. There's a wave of politically charged prosecutions as well. Federal prosecutors have recently indicted several high-profile figures who have sparred with Donald Trump through the years. Letitia James, New York's attorney general who sued the Trump Organization, was indicted for bank fraud and making false statements in connection with a mortgage. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Governor Kathy denounced charges as a weaponization of the Justice Department. Legal experts note that proving criminal intent in such a case is difficult. Then you have James Comey, the former FBI director fired by Trump. He pleaded not guilty to charges of lying to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding. The charges were brought by Lindsay Halligan, a Trump loyalist appointed U.S. attorney after the previous prosecutor was ousted. Career prosecutors declined to join the case, and Comey's defense attorney plans to argue that he was selectively prosecuted at the president's direction. John Bolton, Trump's former national security advisor and now a vocal critic, may be the next target. According to an investigation reported by The Independent, a grand jury in Maryland is considering charges that he mishandled classified documents. Bolton's attorneys insist he retained only documents the George W. Bush era and did nothing wrong. House Democrats fear more prosecutions are coming. After Comey's indictment, some lawmakers began reviewing their mortgages and tax returns because Trump publicly urged the Justice Department to investigate Senator Adam Schiff and others. Representatives Jared Huffman said members are boosting personal security and taking out liability insurance in case they become targets of the president. Whether these cases are legitimate or politically motivated, they are eroding public trust in the justice system. Georgia's 2026 Senate race is off strong. Democratic Senator John Ossoff announced that his campaign raised $12 million in the last quarter, bringing his cash on hand at $21 million. His campaign also says that more than 223,000 donors contributed, with 93% giving $100 or less. National Republicans have made his seat a top target. Congressman Buddy Carter raised nearly $900,000 last quarter and claims $3.8 million cash on hand, while Congressman Mike Collins and former football coach Derek Dooley, backed by Governor Brian Kemp, have raised about $2 million since entering the race. Political analysts note that the race is wide open. Greg Bluestein observed that Georgia's Senate and gubernatorial contests have candidates across the ideological spectrum, from MAGA allies to moderate Democrats like former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan. Trump's endorsement is a coveted prize in the Republican primary. With hundreds of millions likely to be spent, this contest will keep Georgia at the center of national politics for the next 12 to 13 months. Georgians will elect 2 members of the Public Service Commission on November 4th, 2025. These special elections were scheduled after delayed 2024 races were scheduled by a court and a new law. The commission regulates electricity rates, natural gas prices, and telecommunications, meaning its decisions affect utility bills for every household in Georgia. Yet turnout in PSC races is often very low. Informed voters can make a big impact. The more they know, the more they research, making them educated voters. A prolonged shutdown threatens to disrupt food assistance for mothers and children, raise health care insurance costs, and even delay military pay. Political games in Washington have real consequences in Georgia. The rule of law, the barrage of indictments against Trump's critics, James Comey and perhaps Bolton, raises serious questions about selective prosecution and the independence of the justice system. Trust institutions are at stake. We are at a very pivotal time with that. The massive fundraising in the Senate race shows that Georgia will again be a battleground state. Voters' choice could determine control of the U.S. Senate. Meanwhile, the low-profile Public Service Commission races will decide who sets utility rates for the next decade. More than ever, your voice matters. In all of these debates, please stay informed, ask tough questions, and make a plan to vote. That's tonight's Capitol Crossroads. I'm Bernard Reynolds. Please stay engaged and support your local journalism. And remember, democracy thrives when citizens are informed and participate. Good night.